I was going to put out all my predictions for each conference. I'm not going to, or for each division in each conference. I'm not going to do that today. I'll post that on our social media, but I will put out the AFC North, and here's what I think the records are. I think the Browns, now I'm going to get some hate for this because people are going to call me a homer, and that's fine, whatever. But I think the Browns, if they just do what they did last year, the defense maybe improves a little bit in the red zone. The defense probably will take a little bit of a step back, but I think the offense also improves. I think you're going to see Nick Chubb get back into the backfield probably by week 4 or 5. And I think the Browns are going to have more of a high-profile offense this year that caters to Deshaun Watson. I think they're going to throw the ball a lot more. And then when Nick Chubb gets back, I think they're going to start running it a little bit more of a balance. So I think the Browns, with that defense and an improved offense, go 11-6. I think Baltimore and Cincinnati are right there with them. Baltimore lost a lot of stuff in the offseason. I have them at 10-7. Cincinnati, if Joe Burrow stays healthy, I think their offense is still good enough to go 10-7. And I did it, Joe. I put the Steelers out there at 8-9. I'm calling my shot that the Pittsburgh Steelers, first time in 18 years of Mike Tomlin, I think this is the first year they go under 500 and go 8-9. They just miss it. And I think they're 8-8 going into whatever the last game of the year is, and they lose it. And Mike Tomlin drops to his first losing record. So
even though they threw off coaching staff, they're playing the same conservative, no-risk ball that they did last year. So no improvement.
So I think those are the best teams I think the AFC North, is the best division in all of football. Here's my AFC playoff picks. Buffalo in the East, Kansas City in the West. I think that's pretty obvious. I think the Texans are a pretty good shot in the South. I'm going to go with the Browns in the North. I think it's going to be a 3-horse race till the end with Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. And then, but I'm going to have the Browns taking it. They have not won the division, as most people will make fun of them for, since like 1989. I think Baltimore gets in the wild card spot. I think the Jets, if Rodgers stays healthy, gets into a wild card spot. And I think the Dolphins. So the AFC East, I have three teams making the playoffs. I have 2 AFC North teams making the playoffs. And I had the Cincinnati Bengals also going 10-7, but just missing out. I don't know how it's all going to play out, but those are my 7 teams in the AFC I have making the playoffs. Any disagreements or?
No, I'm glad to see the Jets up on that, on the screen as a wild card. That's going out there a little bit.
It is. I think their roster is pretty good. I think they have a good offense, a pretty decent defense. It's all about that quarterback position. So if he can stay off the ayahuasca during the season, and we'll see. So
it's a whole different team with him at the helm.
It really is. All right, NFC real quick. Here's my NFC predictions. I have the Detroit Lions winning the North. I have the San Francisco 49ers winning the West. The Philadelphia Eagles bouncing back and winning the East. I have the Atlanta Falcons coming out of the South. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to have a nice year. Green Bay, Dallas, and the LA Rams all as the wild card teams. That is just my prediction. Obviously, I could be wrong. I feel like every year I'm pretty good at hitting about 4 out of 7 of these, and then sometimes 5 out of 7. But there's always some of those teams that you just can't predict, or injuries that throw it off. So
yeah, this early on in the season, like it's really a crapshoot. Like, you're using data that is so incomplete.
Yeah,
it's tough to tell what happened.
It is. So looking at last season versus this season, the only 2 teams that I have out of the playoffs that made the playoffs last year are Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. And in their place, I have the Atlanta Falcons and the New York Jets. And then I have just missing the playoffs, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those are kind of my overall thoughts on that. So